Maybe I am a fake polyglot. I don't want to give a false impression about my abilities, so today I want to talk a little bit about my own perceptions about my own ability, and also how viewers should look more critically at language YouTubers. You know, every day I look at that video I made 2 years ago, the speaking every language I know. That video I cringe at so much because I think people are extrapolating the wrong things from that video. In that video, it was mostly scripted and I planned out what I was going to say with very little ad-lib. All of those words and structures I were using, I actually do know, and I wasn't using Google Translate for 1 second. So you'll notice the French part was pretty okay, but the Chinese part was like pathetic. And I just wanted to show what I could do as much as I could. But it wasn't off the cuff. And I think for some people, they really think that you should be able to speak off the cuff. For me personally, I don't think I could even do that in English. I always need some kind of script. Or, right now I have a script right over here to help me to remember what to talk about. But I just want to say that what you see on this page and on other pages aren't entirely accurate to reality. And that's not to say I'm trying to deceive anyone, that's just because of the nature of YouTube. You only see the best of what I had. In that video, I was speaking all the languages I know. You only saw the best take. There were a lot of takes of certain lines of that script that I wanted to say again and again until my intonation sounded right or until I was happy with my pronunciation. So because of that, you really are not seeing me repeat the same thing over and over, which was reality. That was like a, I don't know, 20-minute video and it probably took like 50 minutes to film just because I was repeating that line I didn't like over and over and over again. And I wasn't trying to create a wrong idea about myself, trying to make myself sound better. That was kind of like supposed to be a time capsule for me to come back after a few years and see my ability. Because that was my actual pronunciation, those were actual grammar structures I knew, those were actual vocab words I knew. So the reality, if I was actually speaking Turkish off the cuff, I would be less confident, a lot more because I just want to show the right level of intonation, the right level of enthusiasm when I'm making videos. Just by the nature of social media, people are going to only show the best parts of themselves, and I think that's definitely true for this channel so far. You only see my most productive days or my most successful days, or if you're seeing something not successful, you're only going to get the cuts that are interesting or funny. So in that video where I was learning Italian for 2 hours, originally it was a 30-minute video, but that was so incredibly boring and hard to watch because all of my stutters, all of my that I cut it down to 15 minutes. You only see when I do things, but you don't see when I decide not to learn anything today, or I decide to not put in any effort into a language in a day. And I think that could be really unfair for some viewers who think that, oh no, I should be doing this too. He does this every day, this is normal for him. No, you're getting the best of my days. Some people might think that, oh, my language skills suck. I've been doing this language for so many years and it's nothing like that. Well, that's because I'm giving you the best cut. It's probably not so interesting to see reality. I think there is in general something to say about how some of this language learning hobby gets like over glamorized on social media with things like StudyGram or videos entitled Polyglot learns languages 10 hours a day, super hard routine. I have to roll my eyes when I see that because I know that person on the StudyGram is not doing that every day, or that person who's studying 10 hours a day is not doing that every day. Recently I just found out something that just blew my mind, that Instagram models usually point their cameras at another camera when they're making a mirror selfie, which is why their mirrors are so spotless. That's not a mirror at all. They're pointing their camera at a camera. And this kind of fakeness is also very present on all social media. So especially with this kind of thing, you're not getting the bad parts, you're not getting the unglamorous parts, you're seeing the successes, you're seeing the interesting moments, you're seeing the helpful information. You're not seeing me trying to remember a word for 5 minutes, or you're not seeing me incorrectly use a word. I love those fake morning routine videos on YouTube where someone wakes up at 4 a.m., they do some yoga, they have a delicious healthy breakfast, they imagine success for 10 minutes, they take a cold shower, then they read a book, and then they study a little, then they bring peace to the Middle East, then they find Atlantis, all before 9 a.m. And it's so fake because Nobody does that. And I hope people realize this is even true for people who are trying to be truthful, like myself, just because it's boring to see those mundane parts. You know, I don't want to point my camera at a notebook and do notes for 20 minutes. That's boring. But maybe I'll give you a snippet of some interesting things I've done. That's more interesting to watch, but it can create a false perception of what I do. Normal life is not entertainment. Normal life is boring. Entertainment is exciting and different. So, especially when your hobby is related to something very mundane and very internal, like studying or learning languages, it's not very easy to show something that's very accurate to life. We should be like super honest about this and be totally open to know that most of the content that we view, the most of the media that we see has been a little bit sanitized. Maybe not maliciously or intentionally, but just because the most mundane parts are not interesting, even though those mundane moments are just as valuable as those exciting moments. So your main takeaway from this video is that this channel is kind of sanitized. It's not including my ums and my uhs and my struggling to find a word and my mispronunciations or my wrong delivery. You're only seeing the best version, and that should not, absolutely should not demotivate you from learning. You don't see me struggling to say something. You don't see me repeating something 5 times trying to get it right. You don't see me demotivated for days or weeks or months. So don't let that modify your perception of language learning, and don't let it create the idea that I'm better than you at anything, because I'm not. I'm just a normal person. You, the viewer, are perfectly capable of doing everything I'm doing, and all I want in this channel is to share my thoughts and opinions and my journey with language learning. So I think that's really all I have to say. I really think that people should be totally open with things that are inaccurate about how they're presenting online. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. So that'll be all for now, and I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye-bye.